Are you an idiot? Well, you're in good company. There are about 8 billion idiots on this planet, and that number grows every day. Don't be the guy or gal that says, "I'm not an idiot," because that makes you the biggest idiot of all. We all have our moments of brilliance and our moments of idiocy. Embrace it, folks. Don't be ashamed. Without those idiot moments, we would never be able to appreciate our brilliance. Welcome to I Love My Idiot, a podcast about the idiots we love, the idiots we loathe, and the idiots we can't seem to avoid. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Visit our website at ilovemyidiot.com.
Welcome to another episode of I Love My Idiot.
I'm your equal host, Clyde November.
And I'm Rosie November.
And we're glad to have you with us today.
That's right. So we just celebrated Thanksgiving.
That's right. Thanksgiving was yesterday, but the real holiday was today.
Yes.
We call it Thanksgiving 2.
Which is even better than Thanksgiving 1.
That's right, because Thanksgiving 2, anything goes. We have the biggest feast of the year. Mm-hmm. Now, some people might be saying, why on earth would you want a second Thanksgiving? Quick little history lesson. Keep in mind, I am a 5th grade teacher, so I can't help myself.
Yeah. Back when the Pilgrims
were, on the verge of dying.
Yeah.
The native people came to them and brought them food, and it was such an awesome event that they said, hey, we should have a commemorative meal every single year, and we'll call it Thanksgiving. Well, guess what, folks? The exact same thing happened to us. The year was 2014. It was my first year of teaching. I was making about $100 a year. Rosie, on the other hand, was going through her master's program.
Yes. Making
about negative $30,000 a year.
That's
so,
right.
If you walked in our house, what you would see is absolutely nothing. And if you looked in our cupboards, you would see a couple packages of ramen.
And some baby formula, because we had a baby at the time.
Yeah. Times were hard. It was times that, I thought, like, my life sucks. Like, this is horrible.
Like, you try to always take downhills to get home just so you get a little more gas out of that tank,
Yeah. And, there was actually a month when I had 2 weeks until my paycheck.
Yep.
And I had a quarter tank of gas and zero money in the bank. And the credit card was maxed. And I knew that I would rather die than ask my parents for money.
We never asked them for any money.
I made it work. I was driving down the freeway, 75 mile an hour freeway, and I'm going like 35, just coasting, right? So that I could make that tank of gas last longer. I'm not speaking in hyperbole. This was all real.
Yeah.
This was our lives 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens every Thanksgiving? Who comes and visits us? Seamus. It's
every
a tradition
Thanksgiving
that started the first year that you and I were together.
Yeah. So he's usually here several days before Thanksgiving and for several days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's just awesome. Seamus is a really cool guy. You guys have heard him on a couple episodes. We love Seamus. You love Seamus, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, not you. I meant I meant the audience. Yeah. You better freaking love Seamus. He's freaking awesome.
Well, you're looking right at me when you said that. Like, right? You love him, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I love you, Seamus.
Obviously, you love your brother.
Yeah.
That
He's
goes
my
without
best.
saying.
He's like the best part of my existence is Seamus.
Yeah. So here's what happened. 2014.
It was a rough year.
It was a rough year. And Seamus walked into our house. He looked in our cupboard. And he said, how do you guys survive right now? And we said, oh, we're good. We got the baby food. We got the ramen noodles. And he said, that's not good enough. He packed us up in the car. He drove us down to the grocery store. He spent several $100s filling our cabinets with food.
It was over $500 worth of food.
Yeah. But that grocery store was doing a deal that if you spent over a certain amount of money, they were going to give you a free turkey. So we got this free turkey. And then we thought, what are we going to do with it? We already have plans for Thanksgiving over at my parents' house. And so what did we decide to do?
T2 was born.
That's right, Thanksgiving 2. right? And so every year we celebrate Thanksgiving 2, much like Thanksgiving 1, where we think about the sacrifice of those natives helping the pilgrims, but
sure, those are important causes.
yeah, important cause, sure. But a much more important cause is the fact that we were able to feed our children for a year. Seamus, if you're out there, if you're listening.
We know you're not, but if
you're
you
not,
ever do pick this up later in
freaking
your
dead to me.
years. Yeah.
No, he'll catch up soon. Seamus, you're kind of disappointing me that you're behind. But anyways.
Seamus just got married. I mean, the whole world knows that now because of our podcast. But he's got a deal with his new precious bride that no matter what, Thanksgiving 2 is at our house every year.
Absolutely.
So no matter where they live in the United States, they will always come back to our house for T2.
Which is awesome. And Thanksgiving 2 has now grown.
Yes.
The first few years, it was me, you,
Seamus.
Our children, and Seamus.
Yeah. It was very exclusive.
That's right.
I mean, so exclusive, nobody got invites.
That's right. And
Yeah.
at some point, we actually invited Seamus's wife in hopes that there would be a spark.
Right. We were playing matchmaker.
Yeah, a couple years later, look at what happened.
Worked out.
They're married, so
Yeah.
Thanksgiving 2 is a miracle for them as well. But now we've invited other people as well. And one person we invited this year was our dear friend and massage therapist, Marissa.
Welcome to the show, Marissa.
Hi, guys.
Marissa, we were so excited to invite you to Thanksgiving 2. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. How was it?
Well, I kind of double booked myself accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought over the food and dropped it off, and nobody was eating just yet. And I had to leave for my date before.
Yeah, so
That's
Marissa's
right.
dating, everybody.
She is dating.
We knew she wouldn't be single for long because she's a catch.
Yeah.
Not just her voice is sexy, her whole body is. And, I feared that this day would come, and it's here.
It's here.
She's dating.
She's found someone in her life besides Clyde and Rosie.
I know. We were
it's a
on
little
top.
Weird.
We were on top for about 3 months.
Yeah.
And then here you go, dating other people. We get it. I mean, we get it. It's important.
This was
but-
bound to happen. But,
Yeah.
we've had people flake on us before. She's the first person to ever flake on us, but still bring us food.
Yeah. And
So I forgive you. I forgive
and it was
you.
really cute because she took her coat off and everything. And then she says, I have my date at 6:30, and I look at the clock and it's 6:09, and I said, I'm going to make the best out of these 21 minutes.
Yeah, and really those 21 minutes, highlight of the night,
Yeah,
for sure.
the best
For sure.
21 minutes of T2. Marissa, did you have a good time on your date?
I did.
Speaking of dating, so you've been on the market for what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Something like that. I think
Okay.
3 weeks.
So in that amount of time, how many dates have you had?
I had 5 first dates.
Dude, who gets 5 dates in 2 weeks? Like, that's amazing. We had Claudia on, was it last week or the week before? And
I don't think you can count what Claudia does as dates.
yeah, she had a rough go of it, but you get the swipe right or whatever they do every time. So that's really good. Have you had any interesting dates so far?
Well, this time around, it's been a pretty normal scenario, but I have done Match.com in the past. And I've had some pretty funny dates in the past. I had one guy who got too drunk on the first part of our date to make the second part of our date. We were supposed to go to dinner, and then we were supposed to go to a concert afterwards. But at dinner, he got so drunk
Oh my gosh.
that he couldn't even make the concert.
Dude, who does that?
There was that, and then there was the guy who, this is when I was living in San Antonio, Texas, and I agreed to meet somebody that lived in Austin for a date, and my schedule was way more flexible, so I said, okay, I'll drive to Austin, and I'll meet you there. And so it was for dinner, and he said, okay, since you're driving all the way to Austin, where do you want to go? What kind of food do you want? And I said, okay, how about sushi? And then he said, sushi's too expensive.
Oh my gosh.
How
Dude,
about
you can get a whole roll of sushi for like $5.
so, I mean, mind you, Austin is a 2-hour drive from San Antonio. So I drove 2
my
hours.
gosh.
He suggested, how about we go to this little taco place by the university? And I said, okay, because I'm easygoing and, you know, I agree to things. And so I go there, and it's just one of those places that you buy it up front. They serve you on a tray. You get it. You go back to your table. I mean, it's like I don't know, like a glorified Taco Bell.
Oh my gosh.
So it was one of those kind of things, and I was like, I mean, he started falling asleep in the middle of our date.
Oh my gosh.
This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Like
you drove 2 hours for this hot mess.
See, and that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Rosie and I were recently trying to sell a car, and I know selling a car and dating are really nothing alike.
Or the same thing.
But they
But when
kind
you're-
of are,
when
you
you're
know?
married.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were selling this car, and this lady was really interested in the car, but then she said, could you drive it clear across town and bring me the car? So we drove it clear across town, only to find out that she didn't have enough money.
Yeah.
And it ticked us off, because then at that point, we're like, we've already driven like an hour to get here and to leave empty-handed. So we almost took the money. You know, took what she had, but then we were like, screw it, right?
Yeah.
But we learned a valuable lesson, and you should take this on for your dating advice. Never travel.
No.
You know, you invest too much, and then,
I learned
you know,
my lesson on that. Trust me.
Yeah. So what are your deal breakers? Like, they must have these things in order to make it. Before you give yours, let us tell you what Stacy's deal breakers were before she married Seamus.
her and I worked together, and we used to eat lunch every single day. And she would just tell me time and time again about all these disaster dates she would go on. And really, like, I asked her once, what's your standard? Like, what are deal breakers for you? And initially it was like they have to have a heartbeat, you know? But as she kept going on these bad dates, the list would grow and grow. So one day she comes back and she says, okay, they have to have a driver's license.
Yes.
And they have to have a car.
Yeah.
Right? Because she went on some horrible date where she was driving clear across town to pick up some guy. Uh-huh. And then she also said they can't live with their parents because he wasn't ready to go. So she sat in the basement while some mom was grilling her. And she's like, seriously, I'm in my mid-30s. I'm too old for this crap. Right? And finally, he had to have a job.
Yeah.
Which is a good policy. Right? You want someone with aspirations and I don't know.
Well, she also said that she would never date a redhead.
That's true.
And Seamus
and
is...
here we are.
Yeah.
Seamus is out there. Hey, that was a secret. You weren't supposed to reveal that. Hopefully Seamus doesn't catch up with the podcast
I know,
now.
right? Yeah.
His feelings are going to be hurt.
Exactly. So,
All right,
Marissa, what's your list?
Well, definitely non-smoker. That is one of the hard stops for me. Like,
Ooh, yeah.
no, you cannot smoke.
Have you ever kissed a smoker?
I had a boyfriend in the past that smoked occasionally just when he drank, and it was just disgusting to me. I just can't handle smoking.
It's so gross.
I'm fine I guess if a friend smokes, that's fine. But
but you're not making out with your friend.
Yeah, exactly. I want to have somebody that has similar political views or at the least middle of the road so that we can not fight over politics.
Yeah.
Probably a similar religion, or I just don't want to date an atheist.
Yeah.
I'm on board with Stacy about the car, the job, but those to me are kind of a given. I usually would be able to weed out somebody pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to pick them up at their mom's house
Yeah.
on your way to your date.
But I say that, but actually one of the very last of the 5 dates I went on, he did not have a car. He did not have a car.
Yeah.
He rode public transportation, but he had figured it out.
So he says.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's certain situations, like if you live downtown and you work downtown,
Sure.
or
Maybe
whatever.
you never
Did not,
need a
know.
car.
He did not. He lived very far from downtown.
Did he
Oh my
work?
gosh.
He did. He had a business. Yeah.
Did he just think it was more economical, or was he like a real environmentalist or something?
He had just calculated it all out with the insurance, the savings
Oh.
for the car, the insurance, everything. So yeah, he decided that that's it. But I think probably also child support probably was what he was paying
That
the
is
most
a
of.
thing.
Yeah. So
So Clyde and I went down to one car for about 2 years, and it was not a good time. And that was like before Uber. So if I wanted to go somewhere in a hurry, I had to call like an actual taxi, like the yellow taxis.
Yeah, you become good friends with your bicycle.
You really do.
gosh.
Would ride my bike everywhere. Thank goodness we did live downtown, so it worked out. But oh my gosh, that was terrible.
No, but I've done a pretty good job. I actually think that I've done a really good job actually of weeding people out. If they actually get to message with me.
Yeah. If they get to, boys.
Get to. Because if I'm actually messaging with them, that means that they've gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah. You are lucky, boys. Lucky.
And then if they actually get a date, oh my gosh, they're the luckiest guys ever.
Because there's so many choices.
So many. And
you actually picked them.
And the thing is, I'm not trying to be conceited or anything like that. I do have pretty high standards as far as like I need a pretty good match to what I'm looking for, and I know what it is at this point in my life. And so by the time I'm actually on a date with somebody, it's been quite a weed out process.
Please tell me that the first thing you say to them is, "You're lucky that you got a date with me."
I don't say that to them, but I will tell you what, I have a 100% second date request rate. So usually I have to get pretty good at coming up with a reason why I don't think that it'll work out, whether it be chemistry or I don't think that we have the same hobbies, or, just letting them down nicely. But I don't ghost people.
Yeah.
I don't just walk away and never text
so
them
you
back.
actually do the breakup?
I do the non-relationship
That is
breakup.
rough.
Brutal.
But the
I
thing
know.
is, people appreciate it. I mean, I could show you texts from people that say, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for responding and letting me know. You're a great girl. You're going to have a great life." And, they'll be really positive, and they're just so thankful, I think, that I was honest and open, and I think that that's the best policy.
That's weird because when I was single, I preferred to get ghosted.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I could like create a scenario where that girl had like driven off a cliff and died and like wanted a second date, but just couldn't like.
Although you were an
get in
avid
contact with
writer,
me.
though. Like, you wrote intense letters and like...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no problem telling them no, but
including me.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. The letter. They all know about it, but
Yeah.
I'm still upset about it.
I'm sure you'll get over it at one point.
I think I will be 90 years old and still talking about the letter. I don't think the
Yeah.
letter's ever going to leave you.
I think I'll be on my deathbed. I'll die before you.
Yeah.
And your last words will be, "You son of a bitch, I haven't forgotten about that letter," or something like that. Like,
I
you
know.
deserve to die first because you wrote that letter.
Do you think,
Which-
like, in the old folks' home, they're going to set up our podcast?
My new co-host will be
Yeah.
some nurse. I'm going
Yeah.
to replace you at some point, right?
Oh, no, you can't replace
Yeah,
her.
no.
No, I'm just joking.
I carry this thing. Let's not
It's
keep
true.
it real.
I want to know what your old lady laugh is going to sound like, though, because that's the thing everyone's
That's
always
true.
like, "I love Rosie's laugh."
They'll be listening to me for so long that they'll just not even notice the difference from between now and then, you know?
Yeah, we'll be on like
Yeah.
episode 900, and someone will go back and listen to episode
Like,
1.
oh, is that what Rosie sounded like when she was young?
Like, oh my gosh.
I know.
I don't know.
mean, Marissa wouldn't even be here if it weren't for me. I met her first.
Yeah,
So-
but who's the one that invited her to the podcast?
That is true, but still, I met her first.
Fair.
Well, I love you both.
Oh, equally or me a little bit more?
I love you both. You don't make me choose
It's
right now. This is
fine.
very
It's
awkward.
fine. Everyone always loves Rosie more. My feelings will not be hurt.
She's my
Very badly.
She's my buddy, but both of you are my buddies now.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you ever get guys that try to take the first date a little too far or anything like that?
I mean, most of the guys that I go out with are complete gentlemen. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for my choices.
Yeah.
Once I've weeded them out, I feel like everybody's been quite the gentleman. But I did have it was a coffee date, and
Oh, those are the best.
I know. If they don't work out,
Yeah.
get out of there fast.
Very neutral.
actually,
coffee
I don't
place.
know. Most guys start out with saying like, "Oh, do you want to go get coffee or a drink?" And they try to keep it all simple. But usually it ends up turning into like drinks and appetizers or
Right.
dinner. And so I've only had 2 actual coffee dates, and they were kind of awkward in a way. I don't know. There's something about a middle of a day, like sitting in
Yeah.
front of somebody. It feels more like an interview rather than like a nice restaurant with like nice lighting, and you're like sitting there and just kind of chatting. I don't know. It's just been different. But the 5th date out of 5 that I went on in the last 3 weeks, mostly I was listening to him tell me about how he's been married 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
And he has kids by 2 different women, and so I think that's where
Yeah.
the child support comes in, and that's why he doesn't have a car. That's why he doesn't have. That's the guy that doesn't
man.
have a car, and he rides public transportation. But anyways, it was just a little bit awkward because he was telling me how he was really religious and he wanted to know how I feel about premarital sex. And this
Yeah.
is just, I'm not even halfway done with my coffee.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of a heavy subject for
yeah.
Yeah, that's not first date conversation.
first date, coffee date conversation.
That's like after dinner or something on a 3rd date, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
who brings that into the mix on the first coffee date?
yeah.
I mean, I get it though, because
Yeah.
when I was a young single male in the Army, me and my buddies, we'd go to the bar. Everyone was always like, no, you don't buy a girl drinks all night and then find out that she doesn't put out. You find
Oh
out
my
right
gosh.
away.
he wanted somebody that didn't want to have premarital sex.
I don't understand him at all.
And
Wow, that's crazy. What is he like, going to ministry school or something?
something like that. Yeah.
You know, good for him. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. I
he's
mean,
had a lot of sex. I mean, he's got a couple
He's
of
got
kids.
those kids.
He's got
yeah,
a few wives.
the last thing he needs right now is more sex, more kids.
I get it, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, after this, I'm probably going to become a nun. So let's be real.
I mean,
if
after this podcast, this episode.
I mean, when Clyde and Rosie are no longer Clyde and Rosie.
Ah, I see. You mean
I'm
after I
just-
die?
yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Can I become a nun after I've had children?
I don't know. But
good question. I have no idea either.
but you know, this breaches on a difficult subject.
Yeah.
Like, if I were to die, do I want you to move on and be happy, or do I want you to be single and miserable the rest of your life?
Of course, you want me single and miserable the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Now,
Gosh.
what about me? If you die,
I want you to move on. Like, seriously.
that's
I
horrible.
could see that. I could
Yeah.
see
That's
Rosie saying,
horrible.
"I want you to have a
Yeah,
good life."
go
She's-
have a
I
good
am
life.
not moving on.
Go
if you
live
die.
it. Life's, you only live once.
Rosie
Seriously.
just wants everybody to be
Yeah.
happy. She's so selfless.
That's okay. I'm going to outlive you anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
So sorry, ladies, I'm not going to be on the market. I know you were all just dying for that to happen, just pining for Rosie to fall off somehow. But
I mean, you guys are just lucky you don't have to do the online dating stuff. You know,
totally.
I mean, I
Yeah.
have to say, like, actually, I have met some amazing people online, so I really can't complain. I think it's just a numbers game with the online stuff, but if you don't have to do it, it's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I go into every relationship assuming it's not going to work. I'm
Yeah.
like, how's this going to, why did you just, oh,
Why do you do that?
I don't know. Well, keep in mind, I've also been married 12 years.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
prior to that.
yeah. But when I was like younger, yeah, I just would always, every time I would get with someone, I'd be like, yeah, this isn't going to work out.
Well, and Clyde, like, was so shy, and
Yeah, that's
I don't
why.
know. Who he is today is not who he was.
No,
even-
that's part of the reason
Yeah.
why, because I was always like, what if I run out of stuff to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Because I am really shy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so this one time with my first girlfriend, we were driving down the road on a date, and I was just sitting in the car thinking about all kinds of stuff, and she just randomly said to me, "Oh, so now you're giving me the silent treatment?"
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, I'm not giving you any treatment. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
or whatever. And then, like, I think because of that, I was thinking, okay, the expectation if you're with a girl is you have to talk to them 24/7. I'm not going to be good at this whole dating thing. I'm going to be single the rest of my life unless I can find someone that can pretty much talk to themselves nonstop, and I just kind of chime in every now and then.
Which is me.
Enters Rosie, and we lived happily ever after.
Exactly.
Aw.
I know. It's so cute, Clyde. Aw.
I hope the audience is awing right now.
They are really a cute couple. I can tell you that.
Gosh.
I've become friends with both of them, and I love just the way they banter back and forth. And they kind of sound like they're on a podcast sometimes when they're not on the podcast.
My favorite is when you came over for pizza the other day and we were just talking about like different kinds of crusts, and you're like, oh my gosh, you guys should totally do a podcast about pizza. We're like, would anybody listen to a podcast about pizza?
Well, you did a podcast about pickles, so
That's true. That is
but
true.
pickles are gold.
There's
Come
a
on.
there's a passion there with pickles.
pretty sure there's a passion with pizza too. Probably a bigger passion with pizza.
Probably.
We're passionate about a lot of things, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, Marissa, you recently got some training. You left me for like a whole week, and it was really sad, and I missed you very much. But you went and got some training.
I did. I went to New Orleans to take a cupping training for massage and visit my brother and his family as well.
Did you have a good time?
I did. I had a really good time. It was a pretty quick. It wasn't a full week. It was probably about 4 or 5 days.
It felt like a month.
I know. It
felt so long.
Yeah, I didn't even notice you were gone. So
You didn't notice me having tears every night because she's gone.
And you had to wait an extra week for your massage
I
because you would have
did.
wanted
That
to
is
book
true.
it that weekend.
I
but-
did.
Yeah.
You know, when I got the massage, though, this cupping training that you went through, I got to experience some of that. So that was
Clyde
unique.
your first?
Not my first.
Ooh, that hurts. I was hoping to be the first, you know.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think it's really important for all the audience members that are like, what the frick are they talking about?
Yeah.
Can you explain cupping?
Cupping is a form of massage where we use suction cups, and they're made out of different materials. It kind of just depends on what cups your massage therapist chooses to use. But they suction your skin and they bring circulation to the surface, and they promote healing. It feels like a deep tissue massage, but it just kind of, I don't know, wakes up your muscles from a different direction. It's pretty cool. So instead of the massage therapist pushing down and doing deep tissue on your muscles, it actually kind of just lifts up your muscles. The unfortunate part is it does leave some purple rings, which people call bruises, but we call them cup kisses in my training.
Yeah.
So
I just called them hickeys.
Yeah, they
I was
look
like,
they're
hey,
they're everywhere.
got hickeys everywhere.
look
But
like-
they're big. Like
Oh,
I was
yeah.
actually
no one's
surprised.
mouth is that big.
No, I was actually really surprised at like the size of the cups and how the formation that it like did on Clyde.
The art project that I
Yeah,
did on
yeah.
his
Oh, yeah.
back. Well, I have cups of all different sizes, but I was using the biggest ones on his back. So, yeah. But I have to use smaller ones when I'm doing his traps.
Next time you cup me, I want you to draw a picture on my back. And in my head, I'll try to figure out what it's going to be, but I won't know until I get home and look in the mirror. Can you do that for me? I don't even care if it feels good. Like, even if you're like, I would never cup in this spot, but I need it to, you know,
To add to the art
add to the
project.
picture. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. I just,
Okay, yes.
yeah,
We've got a deal.
that's what I want. So here's the thing.
It's so random.
When Rosie mentioned that you were going out of town to learn how to cup, I was actually really excited because the only thing I know about cupping is that LeBron James gets cupped because every now and then, like, his jersey will kind of like slide over and you'll see this little suction cup mark on like his shoulder blade or something, right? And so I was excited to get cupped because it's just one more thing that me and LeBron James have in common.
Yes.
You know, so
Just one more
thing. Like, we're both losing our hair.
You're both male.
We're both male. We both get cupped. You know, we're both awesome. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, Clyde.
we're basically like the same human.
The world in which you live is very fascinating
We're
to
both
me.
tall.
Yes.
Although if I was standing next to him, I would not look tall.
Oh my gosh. So how long does it take for cup kisses to go away?
It usually takes between 4 days and a week. So I would not recommend wearing a backless dress after
Clyde.
getting
Keep
after
the
getting
dresses
Oh,
on the hanger.
I've kept my backless dresses put away.
So
Don't
if you
worry.
have an event to go to, you probably don't want to get cupped right then. Mm-hmm. But besides that, they do go away pretty quickly, and they don't cause any lasting damage or anything like that.
Yeah.
Rosie,
That's
are
good.
you going to get cupped at some point?
No, she knows me now. She
likes the relaxing massage
I
with
do.
like a little bit more in the areas she needs it, but
Yeah.
she also likes to talk and be social, like we talked about in the last podcast.
Yes. I'm becoming very routine for Marissa because she knows what I like. She just does that. It's awesome.
She likes to get hydrotherapy.
I do.
Along with her massage. So
Hydrotherapy is a whole new world.
Yeah, hydrotherapy is where we put hot packs on her chest, and then we put ice cold towels right after the hot packs.
Yes.
And then we have her flip over, and we do the same thing on her back. We also add in these little electric stimulators as well.
It's intense.
It sounds crazy.
Actually, the part that's the worst is the cold. Going from being nice and toasty warm and you're like, oh yeah, I'm really warm. And then all of a sudden you have ice on you. It's like,
But
your
that's
body
where
shocks.
that's where the healing benefits come from, though. So
Yeah. And it creates better circulation and everything, right?
yes, it
Because
does.
I had this really weird thing I'm going to tell the world about. So my pinkies were falling asleep, which is really weird to have your pinkies fall asleep. And it was related somehow to my shoulders and then also my flow or something. And so that's why I went in for hydrotherapy to begin with. And ever since then, my pinkies have not fallen asleep.
Wow.
Gosh.
I know.
What a success story.
Marissa, add me to your website as a success story.
I know.
yes.
Your testimonial.
These
I
never
definitely-
fall asleep anymore. I could even take a picture of just my pinky and then
draw a little face on your fingertip.
Like on
I'll draw
Yelp,
just a smiley face on my pinky.
like on Yelp, you
Yes.
know how you can post pictures with your review. That'll just be that
Just
will
my
not look
pinky
good.
with a smiley face on it.
That will not look good.
Yeah.
I can just imagine what a picture of your pinky will look like in a picture.
That's true. It may look inappropriate. No, I love getting massaged. It's my favorite thing.
Well, it's good that she's figured you out and it's the same every time. I feel like every time I go in, it's completely different.
Yeah,
from the
she
last
uses
time.
you as let me practice something.
I know.
Well,
It's
I mean, the first time, it was a normal massage. The second time, we had talked him into getting feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he can't live without it.
I have a confession to make, Rosie. Marissa, you just sold me out.
Yeah.
I now let Marissa see my feet. It's
Pretty bad, huh, Marissa?
No, it really isn't.
What?
It's not that bad.
Every time I see his feet, I'm like, ugh.
Have you been putting lotion on your feet? Because they seemed to be even better.
I've
this time.
been putting lotion on my feet for 3 years straight.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. So it was really funny because Seamus was with us on the podcast a few episodes back. And I don't know why, but Clyde decided he was not going to wear socks. He had just gotten a massage from you, and all of a sudden he's got foot confidence.
No, it was because I bruised my toe, and I've heard that oxygen helps heal things.
Is that true? Does oxygen help bruises?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I've never heard that, but
Yeah,
Well, I don't
guess
it's one of
maybe?
Clyde's theories, because he's an expert, in pink
know.
eye.
Well, I learned this in the army because it's
Oh my
you get
gosh.
hurt, and they say, well, either drink water or give it some oxygen. Anytime anything's wrong with you, you're like,
Anyways.
I'm sick, I'm dying, drink water or give it oxygen.
Yeah.
And it worked because the bruise was
Yeah.
gone in 12 hours.
Right. But while we were podcasting, so we sit at a card table. This thing is not a production that's...
This is not an
This is
impressive
nothing-
studio.
No, this is nothing fancy to podcast here. Is not fancy. So Clyde puts his foot up on the bed, which is right next to our card table, and it's his foot is looking at me.
And it was all bruised up because I had dropped the log splitter on my toe.
It's
That
the
thing,
ugliest foot.
that log splitter is 350 pounds. It landed on my second and third
Yeah.
big toe. So I had to give it oxygen. I had to elevate it.
Oh my gosh.
So while we're podcasting, I've got one foot above my head in the air.
Yeah.
And Rosie just keeps saying, that toe is staring at me.
Yeah, I'm like, put them away. I cannot record this while your foot is looking at me. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I said, you've been telling me that I need to get more comfortable with my feet. And I finally let the guy out.
Oh my gosh.
And instantly
Yeah.
you're like, put that thing away.
Exactly. I was very uncomfortable by this. I mean, you're never nude, so I have not had to see
I
your
still
feet.
had one sock on, so it's
I'm
all
never
good.
nude with his feet.
Yeah.
I go into Marissa's office. See, I don't feel judged by Marissa. You know what I
Well,
mean?
she's nicer than me.
I know. And she's very professional. She doesn't like make throw up sounds when she's massaging
Yeah.
my foot, you know,
Even
the
though
way
she's
you do.
probably thinking it.
Well, I don't care what she's thinking as long as and it feels so good. I just don't care.
He did tell me this last time that getting his feet massaged is his favorite thing all time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, all
you
time.
went from 0 to
0 to
Yes,
like
please.
100.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
wow.
He's actually said, I wonder how much it would cost if Marissa just massaged my feet
for the whole hour.
for the whole hour.
oh, it would
hour.
cost double.
Yeah, twice as much.
It's not because of your feet, but it's
Whatever.
No, it's not because of your feet.
It's her muscles.
It's
like,
just a repetitive motion that's
Yeah.
really hard to do. I don't know how
you're
those
going to cause
little.
carpal tunnel.
I get it.
I don't know how those little walk-in places that you can get your feet massaged for
I know.
hours. I don't know how they do
That's
that.
all they
I-
do. It's
I have-
crazy.
I have no idea. I've had only a few people ask me for foot massages for the whole hour, and I beg them, can I just do at least the lower part of your leg as well?
Mm-hmm.
Just because, yeah, exactly. It's just
You've
it's a
actually had people ask for this?
I have,
It's
and
not just you, Clyde.
No, and honestly, I wouldn't want to give up the rest. I enjoy the whole body getting massaged, you know?
and really your whole body needs the massage. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
your feet are happy to get an hour, but the rest of
Mm-hmm.
your body would be really sad.
Yeah. Although, Marissa, she's French now.
Oh my
Marissa, I just want to be a really good client to you, right? I
You
want to be
are.
the kind of client where you like brag to other clients, like, oh, I see this guy named Clyde. He
Oh my
is
gosh.
freaking awesome.
Can you tell words of affirmation is his love language? Clearly.
I'll be like,
I
yeah,
have like
there's
6 love languages.
there's this guy named Clyde, and he's a lot like LeBron James.
There we go.
they have
There we
some
go.
similarities.
Yeah. Well, if like you're trying to sell the whole cupping thing and someone's like, I don't know, you could be like, well, Clyde does it. And when they're like, who's that? Be like, well, he's a lot like LeBron James.
Yeah, he's a semi-famous podcaster.
Yeah.
Well, Marissa, thank you for massaging Clyde. Even though he has really gross feet, thank you so much for everything that you do for us and for being our friend.
You're welcome. I love you too.
Oh, we love you too. All right, so Clyde, we do have some Google searches.
All right. Here's my phone.
Yeah. Who knows, right? Who knows with you?
I feel like it's been a while since I've been on the hook for my Google searches.
I know. It has been a while, but I've probably missed a lot of opportunities in the last little bit for things you could have Google searched, but okay. Why did you Google search, how much does it cost the government to put someone in witness protection? Like, are you fearful for your life or?
No, when I was younger, I actually had a friend that I'd known since I was like in 6th grade. And when we were seniors in high school, she confessed to me that her family was in witness protection and they had actually been relocated. Like,
I don't
part
think you're
of me,
supposed to share those kinds of things.
definitely not on a podcast.
Or at all. Like, don't they have strict rules?
Well-
that they're not supposed to tell people they're under witness protection? Isn't that the whole point?
I don't know. She was not good at keeping secrets, apparently.
Oh, my
You know,
gosh.
she had lots of secrets, like the fact that she had a crush on my next door neighbor,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure was the only reason she was my friend in the first place,
Right.
right?
You were the easy in
Yeah.
to get to the neighbor.
Yeah.
I get
Has
it.
that ever happened to you guys where like someone likes you, but then you realize they only are like friends with you to get to someone else?
I haven't really had that per se, but I did
That's
have.
because you're the friend they're always trying to get to.
Listen,
probably.
no. Listen, I had a friend who looked like Heather Graham when I was when we were younger. We were in our early 20s.
Famous actress from Austin Powers 2.
Yes.
Boogie Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Big fan of Heather Graham.
So we would go out in Los Angeles area. At first, we lived in Santa Barbara, and then we lived in Los Angeles. And both places, people would think she was Heather Graham. I mean, she looked so much like Heather Graham. So a lot of guys would want to talk to her. So they would always come up to me, and they would ask me about her. And it got pretty old. It was pretty sad, actually. It made me feel pretty bad. Because
you're like, dude, I'm cool too.
I know. I was like, man, if I weren't with Heather Graham lookalike, then I'd be actually talking to these guys. But you know what? They're the kind of guys I wouldn't want anyways, so it doesn't matter. But still, I didn't get very much attention when I was out with my friend, Heather Graham.
Yeah, big mistake. My sister Claudia always hung out with dogs so that she would look better. She confessed that on an earlier episode. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but let's not disgrace dogs by the people who she dated.
Sorry, forgot we're on with the dog lover here.
Yeah. Marissa has the cutest dogs ever.
My bad.
So, Clyde, how much does it cost to have somebody in witness protection?
On average, $9.7 million
Wow.
per human.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's so much money.
Well, apparently there's some rapper, and I forget what his name is, that recently ratted on a whole bunch of drug dealers.
Oh my gosh.
And they're going to put him in witness protection, but all these people are outraged by it because he has so many tattoos on his face that it's he'll always be recognizable.
Yeah.
So people were up in arms, we're going to pay $9.7 million to relocate this guy that everyone's going to recognize anyways. And I don't know his name. I'm not big in the rap scene.
Wow.
You are. Just kidding.
Now that was funny, Clyde. Oh my gosh.
I was listening to Digital Underground Pandora radio today.
You were?
Yeah.
You like rap music?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I can't even imagine. What are you doing while you're listening to rap music? Is that
getting
your
ready
cleaning music?
Getting ready for my date.
Oh my
It
gosh.
pumps you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did a little pep in her step by listening to some rap music.
Heck yeah. And that's
my
my
gosh.
favorite music to dance to too.
Really?
Yeah, I love
Oh my
rap.
gosh. I could just totally see her with her hands
Oh
out.
yeah,
you
her
know?
hands swinging.
Well, they don't really. I've been told that I have some pretty good rhythm. And I was raised in Northern California with an Oakland influence.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
See?
Yeah.
Do you have a go-to rap song that you could perform right now?
your jam.
Acapella?
Perform? Nope. Sorry.
Oh, come on.
Nice
If you-
try,
if
Clyde.
you-
Honestly, it's not really appropriate.
Oh, dang it. You don't have that go-to, a Will Smith song or something
Yeah.
like that? Dude, I have a Will Smith song, but I'll only do it if you do one.
She's dressed in yellow. She says
There
hello.
we go.
Come sit next to me, you fine fellow.
There we go. Here's mine. 5 years old, bringing comedy. Every time I look at you, I think, man, a little me, just like me. Wait and see, you're gonna be tall. Make me laugh because you got your dad's ears and all.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to stop or should
Yeah,
I?
I would like you to stop.
I could go all day.
Oh
Yeah,
my
when I was in
gosh.
7th grade, I had the Will Smith album.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
jiggy with it. I sat there with the
Oh, my
manual,
gosh.
reading the words
You're
over and over.
word for word
Yeah.
following along. Dude, I miss the manuals
I
inside
know.
of discs.
I know. Now I just ask Google, what are the
Yeah.
lyrics or whatever.
And then you have to scroll and stuff. The manual
I
is
know.
perfect size. You can hold it in your hand.
But
yeah.
with, getting old and stuff, I don't think my eyes would be able to
Right?
see
It'd be
those
like,
tiny
let me
lyrics.
get my glasses.
That's right. All right, Rosie, your turn to rap.
No, I don't know any raps. I never listened to rap music. It just wasn't my jam.
That's
I grew up in the
disappointing.
country, so I listened to country music when I was young. And then I got really into grunge rock with you guys early on. I love that kind of music. But yeah, I didn't really have rap in my life. So sorry, kids.
No one's perfect.
Why did you Google where can I get breast milk?
Well,
You are ridiculous,
this
Clyde.
is awkward. This is going to make me sound like a creep.
Yeah, you are creepy.
But I want everyone to know, if you have dry skin, I have figured out the cure. And it's breast milk.
No wonder your feet felt so much smoother.
Who's your supplier?
I haven't found her yet, but somewhere out there, the one is waiting for me, just pumping away, and I'm going to buy her breast milk.
Oh my gosh.
So let me tell you a story. Now, Rosie may not want me to share this, but I'm going to anyways. She produces milk after she's had a baby. She produces milk like a cow, right? And I'm not saying you are a cow. I'm just saying by the gallon.
Yeah.
Right? And so with our last child, you produced so much milk that we filled 2 freezers full.
Yes.
And in our minds, we kept thinking, okay, we're going to use all this milk. But then eventually she grew out of needing breast milk or even wanting breast milk. But we ended up with, I would say,
15 gallons.
15 gallons that we had to get rid of. Now, it's all frozen in our freezer. So what we did to get rid of it...
the reason we had to get rid of it. The reason we had to get rid of it was we were moving into an apartment where all we were going to have is the teeny freezer. And so we had to get rid of all this breast milk because we couldn't possibly store it.
Yeah. So I filled up the sink with hot water. And then I would soak the bottles in there with the lids off and just wait for the ice to melt. Soon that hot water would turn to this milky color. And then I would have to stick my hands in there to pull them out, right? Pull the bottles out.
Pull the drain up.
Yeah, and pull the drain up. And here's the thing. At that time, I had the worst chapped hands. In fact, they were cracking. They were bleeding. It was uncomfortable. I was in like that frequent pain. If I ate a lemon, they would sting, right? All I did was dip my hands in that thing of breast milk. And for years, my hands were like healed.
That one dip.
Now one dip. And I've done no scientific testing or research on this or anything, just this one experience, and it made me realize there is some kind of like
breast milk's amazing.
Yeah, there's some what's the word I'm looking for?
Healing properties.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ointment, right? And there has to be. Because if someone was sucking on a nipple all day long, that nipple would get really, really chapped, right?
Sure.
And so the only thing that keeps it from not getting chapped is the breast milk that is like an ointment. I don't know why, but suddenly my hands are getting dry again. If you look at my knuckle.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
You can see? It's kind of red.
Yeah.
Sorry, I bumped the mic there. It's kind of red. I'm like, I could get some lotion.
Right.
I could get some Vaseline. I could get some Neosporin. Or I could just buy stuff that actually works.
Uh-huh. And you think there's some mom out there ready to give you her breast milk?
Yes. So, if you are that mom,
oh my gosh,
reach out to us.
No.
ILoveMyIdiot.com.
Do not. Do not.
Clyde
I don't
is
even
in
think
desperate
I do
need.
not even think it's legal to ask people to send bodily fluids to you, Clyde. Like, I don't think you're allowed to mail that. You're crazy.
Thank you. That's the kindest thing you've said to me all
Seriously,
podcast.
You're such an idiot. I don't even know. All right. Well, that's all for Google searches. Marissa, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Everybody loves you.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me talk about my dating idiots experience.
Yes. Eventually, you are going to pick an idiot, and then he's going to become one of our idiots because you're really good friends with us now. So life's not worth living without an idiot.
That's right.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast today. And don't forget that you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Remember, you can check us out on any podcasting platform. Also, make sure you tell a friend about us. If you have listened this far and you still haven't told a friend,
you're letting us down.
You're hurting my feelings.
Yeah, we just love doing it. And
absolutely.
We're going to continue to make these until someone tells us not to anymore. So we're going to just keep it going. But
we're going to do it till the government shuts us down.
I don't think they shut down podcasts like that. Although if you're like bartering breast milk, then maybe, my goodness. Don't, everybody just in the government, this is a joke. This is all for funsies. Don't forget to check out our website, ILoveMyIdiot.com. Don't forget to tell your idiot that you love them. I love you, Marissa.
just one more thing that me and LeBron James have in common.
Yes.
You know, so
just one more
thing.